Good afternoon, everyone. This afternoon, I am privileged to introduce to you one of the promising research scholar. He graduated his high school in Bayuga National Comprehensive High School as valedictorian. In his course BS Biology in Mindanao State University, Iligan Institute of Technology as magna cum laude, and his doctoral at University of Santo Tomas. This afternoon, classmates, our Professor Dr. Hinaru Hapos, it is my privilege to introduce to you and to interview one of these promising research scholar in our country, Dr. Mark Lloyd Granaderos Dapar. Hello, Dr. Mark. How are you this afternoon?
Well, I'm feeling good, and it's so cold here right now. Heavy rainfall in Bukidnon.
Okay. I am so much interested in your study that talks about the the plants that would be used in the Manobo in Agusan del Sur. Can you tell us further more about your studies and what motivates you to conduct that particular study?
Well, of course, since we have limited researchers in the province of Agusan del Sur, then this is an opportunity for me that there is a resident or a researcher coming from the province. And of course, that was my opportunity to at least represent Agusan del Sur, that we have a rich and diverse ethno-linguistic groups of Manobo, Aita, Mamanwa, Mandaya, Higaunon, and others. So I'm glad to share that my study recently conducted and published last 2020 amidst pandemic, that we have culturally rich ethnomedicinal knowledge and ethnopharmacological practices of our fellow Manobo community in the province of Agusan del Sur. And it was found out that several species of which used by these cultural communities were actually interesting and promising. And they have several uses in terms of this treatment of the current pandemic, and this could be potential medical drugs, especially in the ongoing diseases and emerging infections nowadays. So I have actually found out that they have this unique and diverse knowledge like any other ethno-linguistic groups or indigenous communities in the country. And although we can say that traditional knowledge may be lost or forgotten due to possible migration, acculturation, and declining interest of the young generation nowadays, right? In response to the increasing availability of commercial over-the-counter medicine and modernization, perhaps, their medicinal plants are known by limited number of individuals, basically of the elders, the tribal healers, and other elders in the community. But this research that I have conducted is actually the first to show that the high consensus and the relative importance of those medicinal plants used by this Agusan Manobo, which provides an important baseline information for drug discovery and development soon. And maybe by later generation, we can say that probably our province in Agusan del Sur could be a source of raw materials for all these natural products, which are sources of medicinal drugs and treatments in different herbal products. Okay,
Doc
so I
Ma,
hope,
can I
yes, ma'am.
follow up? Can you tell us your methodologies and what are your challenges? What challenges did you encounter in conducting that particular research?
Okay, so basically I do quantitative and qualitative methods. So this is actually what we call the mixed method. And I usually do that mixed method with my research proposals and research approaches and other research designs. where I collect and analyze both quantitative and qualitative data within the same study. Like in this case, okay, so I actually applied qualitative and quantitative data. So basically, this is what we call mixed method, which draws on potential strengths of both qualitative and quantitative methods, allowing us researchers to explore diverse perspectives and uncover relationships that exist between the intricate layers of our multifaceted research questions. So I have several research problems at hand. So by using the combined or mixed method of quantitative and qualitative, this will actually resolve the research problem that I'm trying to resolve in this case or in this kind of research. So also as providers and policy maker, as one of the stakeholders probably for DNR and for NCAP, we strive to ensure the quality and safety for the respondents like health research. So researchers often use mixed methods in this case to explore contemporary healthcare trends and practices across interestingly diverse practice settings. So in this case po, we usually do and combine quantitative and qualitative data. So we have challenges and strengths of this mixed method research. So selecting the right research method starts with identifying the research question and study aims, right? So a mixed method design is appropriate basically for answering research questions that neither quantitative nor qualitative methods could answer alone. So with the use of these mixed methods, it can be used to gain a better understanding and better comprehension of the contradictions or the connections between qualitative and quantitative data. So this is a stronger data that could support your result, and they can provide opportunities for participants to have strong voice and share their experiences as well across the research process. And they can also facilitate the experiences of these researchers as different perspectives illuminate the issue being studied in your case. So the process of mixing methods with one study, however, can actually add to the complexity of conducting research. So this is the challenge. It often requires more resources, more time, more personnel, more power, and of course, more expenses. And of course, additional research training in some cases. So as multidisciplinary research or mixed method exists, it needs to become conversant with alternative research paradigms. So we have different theoretical frameworks and research paradigms that we have to make use of, and different approaches to sample selection, data collection, data analysis, and data synthesis or integration. So basically, we have some strengths, but also some possible challenges we will encounter in this particular mixed methods.
How can your research study be put into practice or be put into law in Agusan del Sur? Do you have some initiatives about it?
Yes, that's a very good question, Paul. Thank you, Doc Jane. Well, as researcher, we cannot basically go directly to promulgation of this implementation of this particular policy, but we can at least recommend policy recommendations or recommend some conservation initiatives, particularly of these medicinal plants that we have surveyed, that they have to protect and conserve these medicinal plants, because once this become extinct or this will become lost or forgotten, perhaps, this will totally be vanished and this will be totally be lost and forgotten. So we have to save, we have to preserve, we have to conserve their medicinal plant knowledge of the local communities or cultural communities, as well as the plant community resources. So we try to connect, to partner with the local government units, as well as the Department of Education, to teach the students the possible effects of this deforestation, this illegal logging, and other factors of anthropogenic activities. And we also connect with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources to at least strengthen our recommendation. And with the help of the National Commission of Indigenous People, then this will actually be a more robust and stronger recommendation for proper implementation by the local government unit as well as the provincial administrative council. Ayan po.
Do you have any closing comments, Dr. Mark Dapar? Or any
Thank you very much.
encouragement for us, especially the doctoral students, like my classmates? Do you have any closing statements?
Okay, so just a closing statement po. What should we need to understand, or some advice to consider when evaluating, like for example, this particular method, which is mixed method of research? You both combine the quantitative and qualitative data or method. So when reading this particular mixed method research or writing a proposal as such, using this mixed method to answer the research question, then here are some of the questions, no, Bill, which actually could be your guides if you are going to choose this particular method. So the first thing is, does the research question perhaps of your study justify your mixed method? So will that be an advantage if you use the mixed method, or could that be just a problem or a challenge for you? So that could be the first thing to consider. Second is the method sequence clearly described, logical in flow, and well aligned with the study aims? So do you have a good research design for a robust discussion? So that could be another consideration. Number three is that, is the data collection and analysis clearly described and well aligned with your study aims? So you have to consider that one, that your data to be obtained could be informative, or maybe this could be the one causing complications in your analysis later on. Number four is, does this method, or does one method discriminate the other, or are they equally important? So you consider that one. If qualitative is enough, then just follow the qualitative data. If quantitative is just enough, then just use the quantitative, or maybe both. You combine them. So you have to assess that one. And number five is, did you use, or did the use of a particular method or one method limit or confound the other method? Maybe if you will just use the qualitative data, then using quantitative data could actually be useless. Okay, so I think there are times that qualitative data is just enough, no need for quantitative, or maybe quantitative is much more important than qualitative. So you have to think of that. And lastly is that, when
Thank you so much, Dr. Mark Lloyd Granaderos, Dapar. Thank you for your time. God bless everyone.